Hey Gamer Cats, Bad John King here, bringing you another cat-related Kickstarter video. Today's Kickstarter unveiling is the Felitar miniatures from Canitaurs Felitaurs miniature and card set for D&D 5e. This was brought to light on Kickstarter on December 6 of 2018, and it was from Punga Miniatures. I apologize if I mispronounce that. We have 5 miniatures to show you today, and before we get started, don't forget to paw that like button if you enjoyed the content, and if you want to keep up to date with cat-related Kickstarters and tabletop hobby, please subscribe. Okay, today we have the first is the Maine Coon Pirate, and I've just taken the plastic off these. Otherwise, here is the Maine Coon Pirate. These are resin miniatures, and they are 55 millimeter, so they're a little bit taller than your standard 28 millimeter. Of course, as you see, what's strange here is we have 4 legs and 2 arms. Of course, like I said, this is Canitaurs and Felitaurs, so the idea behind these creatures is that they're somewhat of a centaurish, but cat or dog-like instead. Otherwise, you don't really see a whole lot of flashing on here. Maybe a tiny bit, but really, honestly, these are great sculpts. Here's the tail on here. Go back here. One tiny little bit of flashing right there to clean off, but it looks like his arm comes back here. Focus. And then a little bit of flashing, but it looks like he's got a hook hand. All in all, this is a great miniature. Not going to take too long for me to have to put it together. I think painting is going to be the harder part. It's just a beautiful sculpt, tiny little bits of bubbles, but easily cleanable. I don't even think you really need a whole lot of sanding on any of this. Okay, next up we have the Sphinx Alchemist. Here's the body. Just wonderful detail. There's a tiny bit of flashing to clean up on the bottom foot there, but other than that, and of course, here's his back end. And the tail, kind of cut a rat tail, but that's what you expect from a Sphinx. They really don't have much fur at all. And then of course here's his one hand, and what's super interesting is this other hand, even though I have a tiny bit of flashing to clean up, to put here, it's a bomb from what it looks like, and it's got fire as if it's lit. So that is super cool. He'll look really nice when he's put together. Next we have the Black Oriental Assassin, and he's a really interesting sculpt. And honestly, what I'm super impressed is I don't think there's virtually anything on here other than a tiny little bit on his pistol to clean up. His back end. Even his back end, this just was a really good casting from this mold. Tiny little bit of flashing, but honestly I could probably clean that up with just a little knife. And then here's his tail, which I'm not sure. Looks like it probably, oh, there we go. be super quick to put him together. Black Oriental Assassin. Okay, of course we have to have the orange tabby fencer, and this is just pretty funny because I believe if you recognize him from any type of movies that you've seen, you might recognize him, but this is just funny and at the same time totally cool. I have to do a little bit of fixing on the sword for a little bit of warping, but other than that, a little bit of hot water and it's all that I should need to be able to fix that. And he has his back end, the tail there, and then what's even better is it looks like he's got a place, yep, there, probably there, to put the feather on the hat. Okay, but lastly, but certainly not least, we have the Chaos Cat, which is the Felitar god from what I understand. And this is just amazing. I absolutely love this sculpt. Looks like she's got 2 orb power, that she's just growing energy like she's about to cast it down on somebody, some unfortunate victim. Her back end. A forked tail, or a pointed tail, a speared tail, with some rings on it. And then what's super cool about her is it looks like she's got some wings that go in her back. So let's see if I can do this. Kind of get the gist of how she's going to end up looking. Really beautiful work on the wings, quite a bit of detail, not too much to have to clean up, just one tiny little bit right there. On her herself, virtually a tiny little bit on the feet. Other than that, I really don't see anything at all on her to have to clean up. Look at those skulls. Some of her poor unfortunate victims she was already carrying around with her. Well guys, I guess that wraps it up for this week's cat call. Until next time, have a pawtastic day.